It's confirmed, checks for the low income. I have all the details for you in this video. Also, a new report just released showing how the United States economy is doing. And the approval rating of Congress has been released, as well as one state considering sending out $250 checks to all of their residents. I have all these details for you in the video, so let's get into it right away. But if you're new here, or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and so I can keep you updated each and every day during this very busy time as information continues to change very, very rapidly. My dedication is to be here for you every single day, doing all the research, and to make sure that you're getting the latest updates hot off the wire as this information is being released. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get right into the updates. All right, so first off, let's quickly talk about this new report that was just released a short time ago, showing how the United States economy is doing. This is the non-farm payroll number that is released the first Friday of every month, which just so happens to be today. And that was just released a short time ago this morning. So I do want to let you know, because this is a reading on the labor market right here in the United States, and it ultimately gives us a glimpse into how the United States economy is also doing. Well, it showed that in the month of March, they created 431,000 new jobs, and the unemployment rate actually went down to 3.6%. This is the lowest rate that we've seen in about 2 years. So it shows that the economy is continuing to move higher, the economy is continuing to recover, and ultimately the labor market is recovering as well, which is a good thing. However, what's interesting about this is, just a couple days ago, I was out in a separate video showing you that a report was released that day as well, showing that there are 11.3 million job openings in this country. So as you can see here, creating 431,000 jobs when there's 11.3 million job openings, we have a long way to go here, right? So anyway, this is a new report that was just released here. I like to give you that information. It's only released once per month, and today was the day, so I like to give that information to you just so that we can get a glimpse as to what is actually going on in the country, what's going on with the labor market, and everything like that. So let's quickly talk about some of this other information that was also released in regards to the approval rating of Congress. Did you realize this was a thing? I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't realize that Congress also got an approval rating. I guess I'm not too surprised, but within the same report, it showed the approval rating of the president. Again, I'm not going to cover that here just simply because I just don't want to cover that. Just being honest with you. But here's the deal. Let's quickly talk about the approval rating of Congress, because here's the thing. Congress is the one who a lot of us are looking to get additional relief, to get stimulus checks, things like this. The president ultimately just signs things, right? Ultimately, he comes out with all of his ideas, his proposals, things like that, and either Congress picks it up and works on it, or Congress throws it to the gutter and says, no, just kidding, we're not doing anything with it. So I like to focus more on Congress because realistically, they are the ones who have basically our lifestyles in jeopardy. They are the ones who make the calls. Even though the president is the one who ultimately signs it, realistically, it's mostly up to Congress. Realistically, you know what I mean? Because if it's not going to make its way through Congress, the president's not going to sign it anyway, right? But the deal is, Congress works directly with the president anyway. So as Congress continues to work on these bills and these proposals and things like this, you know that they're talking to the president. So they already know if it's going to get approval by the president anyway. So he's basically just a rubber stamp. So let's not worry about him so much. Let's focus on Congress. They are the ones who have the ultimate say in, do we get relief? Do we get checks? What are they going to do to our lifestyles going forward? Are they going to allow us to continue struggling, or are they going to come in like the guy on the white horse and help us with everything that's going on right now, right? Well, here's the thing. This should come as no surprise at all, but this report showed that the approval rating of Congress right now is at 23%, and the disapproval of Congress is 63%. Is anybody surprised? I'm actually not surprised at all. I'm actually surprised that it's even 23% approval. It seems like they've done essentially nothing for the American people here over the last year or so, since the last stimulus package was signed into law and they actually sent out those $1,400 checks. Let's be real with ourselves. What has Congress done for us? I don't know, maybe you can think of something, but I can't really think of anything. So again, kind of interesting, but I guess the report here shows that the vast majority of people out there, Americans, are not exactly too excited about the performance of the people who represent us right here in the country. Anyway, this is just a report that I wanted to share with you, just to let you know what is actually going on out there right now. Also, let's quickly talk about this one state out there right now that is considering sending all of their residents a $250 one-time check. The state of New York. Now, this was just released, and the state of New York is considering sending out a $250 one-time check to help with gas prices that are elevated across the entire country, and of course, in the state of New York. Now, as I just reported yesterday and still consistent today, the national average of 1 gallon of gas is $4.22 per gallon across the nation. That's the nationwide average for 1 gallon of gas. However, the average price in the state of New York is $4.32, so they're about a dime higher than the national average. Well, they're considering sending out everybody a $250 check to help with all of these gas prices. Now, here's the thing, and I'm going to get into this a little bit further here in just a second. As far as potential checks coming out of Congress as well, confirmed by Nancy Pelosi yesterday. So let me give you those details here in just a second. But here's the thing. I know that we've been talking a lot about direct checks or stimulus checks going out to the American people because of higher or inflated gas prices. Now, here's the deal. I think a lot of us can look at this situation and say, well, I don't drive much, or I don't drive at all, or, gas prices aren't affecting me, or, whatever the situation is. Doesn't really matter. If Congress or your individual state sends out a direct check or a stimulus check for you because of higher gas prices, it does not mean that you need to spend that money on gas, unless it is some type of voucher program where it's only redeemable at gas pumps and like gas stations. But that's really not a thing. That's not likely going to be happening. But rather, they're considering direct checks, as in stimulus checks for the American people, because of these higher gas prices. So if you receive a check in your mailbox or a direct deposit, it does not necessarily mean you need to go out and spend $250 on gas, right? Kind of makes sense? So you can essentially spend it on anything according to my research, but they're sending it out kind of justifying that, hey, gas prices are elevated right now. Let's send out the money on an ongoing basis. Kind of makes sense? So anyway, as we do get more information out of New York, of course, I'll keep you posted on that. However, let's quickly talk about Nancy Pelosi now and what she confirmed yesterday in her news briefing. So she actually comes out every Thursday and she has like this news conference, right? The press briefing. Quick side note, by the way, yes, I do have a cold, which is why my voice sounds really jacked up right now. And honestly, my right ear is completely plugged, so it's like I can't even hear myself. So totally awkward right now. Anyway, I promise you, I'm still doing research and I'm still making my way through this stuff. Anyway, so Nancy Pelosi was out yesterday in her news conference, and she did confirm that Congress is working on either rebate cards or direct checks, as in stimulus checks for the American people. So remember that yesterday morning I was out in that separate video? It was titled something like gas stimulus checks or something like that, if you happen to catch that video. Well, in that video, I was laying out a bunch of different programs that are out there right now that Congress has introduced over the last, say, 3 weeks or so. Well, here's the thing. Nancy Pelosi confirmed it yesterday that yes, in fact, Congress is working on either a gas rebate card, which more on that here in just a second, or direct checks, as in monthly checks for the American people in the amount of either $100 as an individual, $200 for a married couple, and up to $300 provided you have a dependent under the age 18. So pretty cool stuff. Now, this is all stemming from that Gas Rebate Act of 2022, the one that we talked about yesterday in the video, right? So this is the one that was actually introduced by a small handful of Democratic representatives. So this is the one, as I've been talking about here for maybe a week and a half ago or so. I was also out in a separate video and I said, hey, here's all the proposals, and this is the one that sticks out to me as being the most promising. Well, Nancy Pelosi essentially confirmed the exact same thing that I said about a week and a half ago about this one proposal that came out of this small handful of representatives about maybe 2.5 weeks ago or so. So it's not going to be a ton of money at the end of the day, but provided it is something, even $100 a month, $200 if you're married, and $300 if you have a dependent, at least it's something. And like I said, according to my research on this, again, as we do get more details on this, I can confirm it in more detail. But according to my research on this, it does look like even if you get an ongoing $100 check as an individual or a $200 check as a married couple, it looks to me like you can go and spend that money on anything that you want. It does not need to be spent on gas unless it is a rebate card. Then that could be up in the air, because that could be viewed a little bit more like a voucher program where it's only redeemable at gas stations. But it looks like it's probably going to be more something along the lines of just direct checks in the amount of $100 a month, again, or $200 as a married couple. So anyway, looks kind of promising. And yes, Nancy Pelosi was out yesterday talking about this in front of the media as they were, as she was doing her weekly press conference, and they were there asking her about it. And she came out and directly said this in regards to these payments. So Congress is working on something, provided they can actually get something done here. But remember, this is stemming from gas prices. They're still on the table out there, and again, nothing has been confirmed yet, just so that we're all on the table, we're all on the same page with all of this. But there is still talk about potentially a focused fourth stimulus check, possibly in the amount of $1,400. And again, maybe even $2,000. But again, there's a lot more steps that we need to get through before any of this can possibly be going out. But there is hope that there's still talk about there's still talk about these stimulus checks, and hopefully Congress will come together and get something done. But either way, even if they can just get us started with $100 a month, $200 a month, that'd still be great. It'd be better than nothing. Seriously, I mean, it's not going to be like life-changing for a lot of people, but at the end of the day, if we can get at least a little bit of change in our pockets, it's going to be a little bit helpful, right? So anyway, as I do get more information, of course, I'll continue to keep you updated with all of this. These are the updates that I have for you as of right now. And again, I'll continue to watch everything closely. As I get more, of course, I'll be right back here for you, breaking it all down to help you out in any way that I possibly can. So again, please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share this video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other 2,300 plus videos right here on the channel. Enjoy your day, stay safe out there, and I'll catch you again later, a little bit later in the next video. Enjoy your